Just trying to survive and learn to love along the way by Foreplay on AO3. Episode 68, Chapter 68 of Blood and Confusion. Everyone looks shocked when his whip wraps around the gun. Izuku manages to keep his concentration long enough to pull it from her hands. His whip dissolves a few feet away from the exhaustion creeping up on him. He knows that his dad can handle this, so he looks up where Hawks has hopefully caught his friend. The hero is approaching the ground, Kirishima cradled in his arms. As soon as they touch down, Kirishima shoves himself out of the man's arms and throws up as Izuku runs closer. He does not think his friend was hurt this badly. His arms are drenched in blood, and it's smeared across his front. Kirishima is all on fours, still dry heaving. Hawks crouches behind him, a reassuring hand on his back. "Hey, kid, I need you to tell me where you're hurt." Izuku can hear Hawks speaking as he and Shoto approach from the pair. Izuku kneels in front of them and ignores the wave of dizziness he's hit with as Shoto stands beside him. "Kirishima, are you okay?" A stupid question, really, considering the amount of blood. He doesn't answer any of them. Hawks stares at his friend over, trying to find the source of blood, while he's still hunched over. Izuku does the same, but it's hard to see much of anything. Shit, this isn't good. Hawks has a frown in his face as he takes a deeper look at Kirishima's head. What is it?" "Izuku, there's blood coming from his ears." He moves towards to take a closer look, but Kirishima chooses then to finally move. He sits back on his ankles, trying to shuffle away at the same time. Hawks at his back keeps him mostly still, and he seems to finally register the pressure of his hand on his back. Kirishima looks up, clearly surprised that Izuku is right in front of him. "Kirishima, can you hear me?" His friend squints at his lips, a confused frown on his face. Izuku repeats the question, but Kirishima's frown only deepens. I can't." It comes out as hardly a whisper, and Kirishima seems to realize that. Hopefully the damage to his ears is temporary, or at the very least mild. He might be able to hear something right now, so Izuku moves over to his side so that he can speak directly in his ear. Kirishima looks up at Todoroki before looking over Izuku's shoulder at where more pros have gathered, restraining Hagakure. Izuku looks with him and finds that the medics have arrived as well. His friend looks relieved at the realization that it's all over, so Izuku places a hand on his shoulder and leans in before speaking. "Kirishima, where are you hurt?" Izuku has to move back quickly as he shakes his head violently. "No, I'm okay." Well, he certainly doesn't look okay, or sound it. "Then where did all this blood come from?" "Not mine." Kirishima lifts a red hand and gestures vaguely over Izuku's shoulder, in the direction he had come from. Shoto curses beside him, and Izuku turns to see him significantly paler than he usually is. He looks over to the medics, working frantically over someone that can only be Touya. But he quickly turns back to Izuku and Kirishima. He's about to tell Shoto to leave, to be with his brother, when he nods at Kirishima before turning and running. Izuku turns back to his friend and sees the smile he had managed to produce return to a grimace. His dad chose to appear then, crouching down next to them and brushing a hand through Izuku's hair. "Hey baby, you kids alright? Dad's gonna meet us in the infirmary with Todoroki's brother." Izuku leans into his dad's touch for a moment before pulling away. He can't relax now. Not yet. Only when they're safe, and he knows that all his friends are okay, Izuku will relax. He wants nothing more than to fall asleep and get rid of this pesky headache. He just has to hold on a few more minutes. "Dad, ever since the gunshot, there's been something wrong. I think it messed up his hearing." His dad moves closer to Kirishima and holds out a hand as he speaks. "Hey, listener, are you alright to walk?" It's obvious that Kirishima didn't get a word of what he said. He put out his own hand anyways, but freezes when he catches sight of it. Kirishima realizes his other hand and sits there, staring at the blood-stained appendage. Izuku can't recognize the signs of a panic attack easily, considering the amount of times he's had one, but he's unsure of how to help his friend. He's the type of person who needs reassuring words to calm him down. But how can Izuku do that when he can't hear a thing they're saying? His dad is staring intently, probably debating with himself on what to do. can't, there's so much of it. They can't see me like this. His friend probably doesn't even realize that he's speaking out loud. Kirishima lowers his hand as soon as the words leave his mouth, but Izuku's dad reaches forward and grabs one of them. Behind his friend, Hawk stands and removes his coat before draping it over Kirishima, effectively covering up the blood. That seems to be the final push Kirishima needed to look up again and grab Izuku's dad's hand. They both stand up, and he follows suit. He sways a little on his feet, but he steadies himself. He can't collapse. Not yet. Izuku looks up and finds the trio staring at him, all with worry on their faces. His dad looks like he wants to help him, but Kirishima now has his arm in a death grip. Hawks notices this and moves forward to place a hand on Izuku's shoulder. I'll keep an eye on him, Present Mike. We'll be right behind you. True to Hawk's word, they stick a few feet behind his dad. They've only been walking for a few minutes when everything goes sideways. He comes to in someone's arms, and Izuku tries looking around, but finds most things are blocked by bright red wings. They're still moving, and it seems Hawks is carrying him. He doesn't think he's blacked out for long, a few minutes at most, but those few minutes were long enough to get a whole lot closer to the other students. Izuku could hear them now, the sounds doing no favors for his ever-present headache. He could only make out bits and pieces of the conversation. Most people are wondering what happened. They all probably heard the roof cave in, followed by the gunshot. Oh my god, is that Deku? Izuku can't hold back his flinch at Uraraka's explanation. The wings around him cut off the rest of the light, and stay like that for the rest of the walk to the infirmary. Izuku dozes, jerking back to reality when he gently is set down on a bed. If anything, his impromptu nap only made him more exhausted. He feels like he could sleep for a week. Hey kiddo, you doing okay? Izuku looks up as his dad approaches the bed, a frown on his face. He looks so much more exhausted than usual, and he's no longer wearing his capture scarf. Probably didn't want to wear the blood that was on it. Izuku shrugs before shaking his head as tears start to fall. His dad sits down beside him before pulling Izuku into his arms. He holds Izuku as he cries, completely oblivious to the world around him as he focuses on the warmth and steady heartbeat of his dad. Okay, alright, interesting. Just trying to survive and learn how to love along the way. I actually thought it was going to be Izuku with the panic attack. We didn't get that. Interesting. I feel like this dynamic is interesting. So, chapter 69 is of infirmaries and cramped space. Summary. Nearly everyone has disappeared from the infirmary when Izuku wakes up, but soon he's surrounded by friends and family. Can we get this child out of hospitals? Like, he needs to stop being in them, please. I don't think my little heart can take it. Okay? My heart can't take it. This child needs not to be in medical. Like, okay, no. He needs to be there when he needs it. But I do not like the fact that he's constantly needing to be there. Right? That's what I'm trying to say. Not saying that even if he's hurt, he shouldn't go. No. I'm saying he shouldn't be hurt in the first place to have to go to the hospital, you know? So, yeah. I don't have much to say. These are recaps. There's not much I could say. Or not recaps, but different points of view. And I don't have much to say. Other than... Ochako, I thought we agreed that Izuku doesn't want to be referred to as Deku. That was... I'm not going insane, right? That was this fic, right? From my understanding from, like, the beginning, that was one of the things that Izuku no longer wanted to be called. And that was... No, it was Midoriya. No, it was Deku. It was Deku. Huh. Okay, anyways, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.